In this video, I'm going to show you how to make your data look nice the way IB wants it to look. I'll show you how to do the average and also how to figure out the uncertainty the way that they want us to from a number of trials of the same variation. Okay, take a look at this. So these are my variations. I stretched, allegedly, a spring 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 centimeters. And then I used a force scale that is strangely unrepeatable, but very accurate, right? Come on, just bear with me here, okay? And so the first thing I want to do is, since the centimeters, the smallest division was a millimeter, I need to say that these things have one more decimal place. So that little thing right there, the arrows like that, this decreases it, that increases it. And you just sort of click those until you get the right number of decimal points. So what that means is that although it was 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5 centimeters, I was careful enough to make it sure it was within a millimeter of that. Okay, that's all that means, and IB wants you to do that. Okay, and then these guys, notice that some of them come out even, right? In other words, the hundredths place is a 0. And what you need to do is make sure that they all have 2 decimal places. So I click that. Now they have 3. Now they have 2. So again, that sequence was this, right? I give this guy 1 decimal place and then select all these points here. And I have to increase them, and then I'm going to go back 1. And now notice that it's 0.30. And what that means is that I was capable of measuring the hundredths place, and it happened to be a 0. Okay, and you know, you're going to lose points if you don't do that. So there it is. Okay, and now I'm going to do the average, and I'm going to do the uncertainty. Okay, and to do that, I'm going to use a couple formulas. For the formula for average is just equals, which just means it's a formula. The word average, left parenthesis, the range, and I'll show you how to do this. You can just drag your mouse across the screen and it'll auto type it. I mean, you could do it manually. And there it is, right? And then to find the uncertainty, it's just going to be maximum minus minimum divided by 2. And you could do that by hand, but why do it by hand, right? So it's max range minus min range. And so all this does is return the maximum value in that range. This returns the minimum. And then you find the difference between those, right, which is the range of the numbers, the range of the trials, the mathematical range, right, and then divide that by 2. Luckily, you know, the biologists have to do something more fancy, but, you know, I guess, ironically, we're less fancy. Okay, so this guy, I type equals. Notice it's like, ooh, enter to select a suggestion. It's like, oh, look at that. It's going to suggest something. I'm going to type it in the AB, left parenthesis. And then I can take my mouse literally and just drag across that, right? Notice that it auto types it for me, enter. And then it'll do this, you know, suggested autofill. If it does that, hey, that's what we want, right? Okay. If it didn't do that, then what you do is you click on that. Now watch the cursor. If I get to the edge of the cell, it's a hand, and that means move it around. That means select. But if I go to the corner, the cursor changes to a little plus sign like that. And if these don't have 2 decimal places, make it have 2 decimal places. Okay, so do this until it has 2 decimal places. Okay, and then for the uncertainty here, I'm going to say equals, and now it's that, you know, the big equation here, right? Okay, it's going to be left parenthesis and then max. And then it's trying to show me, right? You can use, by the way, they say you can use the arrow keys. You sure can, right? So I'm going to go left arrow, left arrow. Now I hold the shift key down. And now I can go, if you prefer, right? You can also just use your mouse. Minus, I'll use my mouse for this one. Whoops. Okay, sorry. I need to put a min before that. Left parenthesis. Go to the end. Right parenthesis, and then I need to close the outer parentheses, right? And then I have to divide by 2. So there it is. There's our expression. And then it's suggesting an autofill. If it does that, sure, just say, oh. If it doesn't do that, then just click on that cell again, grab that little corner, pull it down. Notice that these have like, it's suggesting thousandths place. So I'm going to make them have hundredths places. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So now we're good, right? This is down to the hundredths place. This is down to the hundredths place. And we do want to make the data table reflect also. Let's make these a little smaller. I think these could be smaller, right? So I'm selecting all those things, and then I can like that. That's nice, isn't it? Let's see. Can I do this guy a little bit? There we go. This will be handy when you try to make your graph. And then as far as, doing all the stuff with the tables, I think I'll show that in another video, okay?